You don't pause while speaking English because your English is weak. You pause because your brain is overloaded in that moment. You are trying to think, translate, choose the right words, fix grammar, and speak at the same time. And that pressure makes you freeze. That awkward silence, that sudden blank mind, that loss of confidence, it's not a language problem, it's a thinking problem. And if you don't fix this, no matter how much you study, you will still hesitate. But here's the good news. You can fix this faster than you think. In this video, I'll show you how to stop pausing, stop overthinking, and start speaking English smoothly and confidently. Most people believe that fluency comes from learning more vocabulary or mastering grammar rules. But in reality, hesitation is what holds you back the most. You may already know enough English to communicate, but when it's time to speak, your mind slows down. You start checking every word, every sentence, and that breaks your flow. This is why even after years of learning, many people still struggle to speak confidently. In this video, you will learn practical techniques that will help you speak without stopping, without overthinking, and without losing confidence. These are simple changes, but they will completely transform the way you speak. Stop translating in your head. The number one reason you hesitate while speaking English is because you are translating every sentence in your mind. First, you think in your native language. Then you try to convert that thought into English. This extra step slows you down and creates that pause. By the time you form the sentence, the moment to speak has already passed. This is why your speech feels broken and unnatural. Fluent speakers don't go through this process. They think directly in English, which allows them to respond instantly without hesitation. To fix this, you need to train your brain to stop depending on translation. And the best way to do that is by starting small. Don't try to speak long or complicated sentences. Begin with simple and direct sentences like, I am tired, I am going outside, or I need water. These may sound basic, but they help your brain build a direct connection between thought and English. The goal here is not to impress anyone. The goal is to respond quickly and naturally. Another powerful method is to start thinking in English throughout your day. When you wake up, try to describe what you are doing in English. For example, say, I am brushing my teeth, or I am getting ready. When you see something around you, describe it in simple words. This constant practice trains your brain to stay in English mode. At first, you might struggle or feel uncomfortable, but that is completely normal. Your brain is learning a new habit. Also, stop worrying about making mistakes while speaking. When you focus on being perfect, you automatically slow yourself down. Instead, focus on expressing your idea, even if the sentence is not perfect. Communication is always more important than correctness. The more you allow yourself to speak freely, the faster your brain adapts. And once your brain stops translating and starts thinking directly in English, you will notice a huge drop in hesitation. This is the first and most important step. If you fix this, your speaking speed will increase, your confidence will improve, and your pauses will start disappearing naturally. Stop trying to speak perfect English. Another major reason you hesitate while speaking English is because you are trying to make every sentence perfect. You want correct grammar, the right vocabulary, and a polished sentence every single time. But while you are busy fixing all of this in your mind, your speech slows down. You start a sentence, then stop in the middle to correct yourself, and that creates hesitation. This habit breaks your flow and makes you sound less confident than you actually are. Fluent speakers don't aim for perfection while speaking. They focus on communication. They speak first, and if needed, they improve later. But learners often do the opposite. They try to perfect the sentence before even saying it. This creates pressure in your mind, and pressure always leads to pauses. The more you try to sound perfect, the more difficult speaking becomes. To fix this, you need to change your focus from perfection to expression. Your goal should be to deliver your message clearly, not perfectly. Even if your sentence is simple or slightly incorrect, it is still better than staying silent or pausing again and again. For example, instead of stopping to think of a complex sentence, just say it in a simple way. Simple English spoken smoothly always sounds more fluent than complex English spoken with hesitation. One powerful technique you can use is the keep talking rule. Once you start speaking, don't stop to fix small mistakes. Just continue your sentence and complete your thought. This trains your brain to stay in flow instead of switching into correction mode. Over time, your accuracy will naturally improve, but your fluency will improve much faster. You also need to understand that mistakes are a normal part of learning. Every fluent speaker you see today has made thousands of mistakes in the past. The difference is, they didn't let those mistakes stop them from speaking. If you keep waiting until your English becomes perfect, you will keep waiting forever. But if you start speaking freely now, your confidence and fluency will grow together. So, from today, give yourself permission to speak imperfect English. Focus on speed, clarity, and confidence. Because in real conversations, people care about what you say, not how perfectly you say it. And once you remove this pressure of perfection, you will notice that your hesitation starts disappearing automatically. Train your brain to speak in chunks, not words. One hidden reason why you hesitate while speaking English is because you try to build sentences word by word. You think of one word, then the next, and this slows you down. Your brain keeps searching for individual words, which creates gaps in your speech. That is why your sentences feel broken and your flow keeps stopping in the middle. Fluent speakers don't speak word by word. They speak in chunks. Chunks are small groups of words that are already connected in your mind. For example, instead of thinking, I want to go, they naturally say, I want to go, as one unit. These ready-made phrases help them speak faster without stopping to think about each word separately. To improve this, you need to start learning and practicing English in phrases, not just single words. Instead of memorizing only vocabulary, focus on common sentence patterns like, I think that, the reason is, or, let me explain. When you practice these chunks regularly, your brain starts using them automatically during conversations. This reduces thinking time and makes your speech smoother. A simple way to practice this is by repeating common phrases out loud every day. You can also copy how fluent speakers talk in videos or conversations. Listen carefully to how they group words together and try to repeat the same patterns. At first, it may feel like imitation, but this is exactly how fluency is built. Another effective method is to prepare a few go-to phrases that you can use in any conversation. For example, phrases like, that's a good question, or, let me think about that, give you extra time to continue speaking without pausing. These small tricks keep the conversation flowing and reduce hesitation. Once your brain starts thinking in chunks instead of individual words, your speaking speed will increase naturally. You will stop searching for every single word, and instead, complete phrases will come to you instantly. And that is when your English starts sounding smooth, confident, and fluent. Use the 5-second rule to kill hesitation instantly. One of the biggest mistakes people make while speaking English is waiting for the perfect moment to start. You think, you prepare, you adjust the sentence in your mind, and by the time you are ready, the moment is already gone. This habit of waiting increases hesitation and slowly reduces your confidence. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to speak. To break this pattern, you need to follow a simple rule. The moment you get an idea, start speaking within 5 seconds. Don't give your brain enough time to overthink. Because overthinking is the real cause of hesitation. When you act quickly, your brain focuses on expressing the idea instead of judging it. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. You might feel like your sentence is not good enough or not complete. But that is completely fine. The goal here is to build speed and confidence, not perfection. The more you push yourself to speak instantly, the more natural it becomes. Your brain starts adapting to quick responses instead of slow thinking. You can practice this in daily life very easily. Ask yourself simple questions like, "What did I do today?" or "What am I going to do next?" and answer them immediately in English. Don't pause, don't translate, just start speaking. Even if your answer is short, say it without delay. This builds a habit of instant speaking. Another powerful way to use this rule is during real conversations. Whenever someone asks you something, avoid long pauses. Start with a simple phrase like, "I think," or "in my opinion," and then continue your answer. This gives you momentum and keeps your speech flowing. Once you begin, it becomes much easier to continue. If you apply this rule consistently, you will notice a big change. Your hesitation will reduce, your response time will improve, and your confidence will increase. Because fluency is not about having more time to think. It is about training your brain to speak without fear and without delay. At the end of the day, hesitation is not about your English. It's about your habits. The way you think, the way you process, and the way you respond. If you keep translating, chasing perfection, speaking word by word, and waiting before you start, hesitation will always be there. But the moment you change these habits, everything changes. You don't need years to become fluent. You need the right approach and consistent practice. Start small. Speak daily, and focus on flow instead of perfection. Because confidence doesn't come first. It builds as you start speaking again and again. So, from today, stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Just start speaking. Even if it's simple, even if it's not perfect, just speak. That one decision will change everything. If this changed the way you see your English, consider hitting subscribe and staying connected for more. If you found this helpful, a like really supports the content and helps it reach more people. You can share this with someone who understands English but still struggles to speak naturally. Try writing one simple sentence in English in the comments, without translating, just your thoughts. If you want to keep improving step by step, turn on the bell icon so you do not miss what comes next. Thank you for watching and putting in the effort to improve.